Hey everybody, Mike here with the BFH Garage, and today we're talking about front track bar relocation holes and how are you going to repair them if they get wallowed out really bad. I had a spare axle side from a passenger side Dana 30, and I've had it in the garage for quite a while, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to explain how we're going to repair a track bar hole when it gets wallowed out. So when you look here, this is your stock location of your track bar mount. So your track bar comes through here, the bolt goes through, your track bar goes up to your frame side mount. When people throw a lift on their Jeep, what it does is it moves the track bar over because you're raising the Jeep, the track bar gets pulled with it at the frame. So what people do to correct that on the cheap is they drill a hole over about 3/4 of an inch from the original hole and they mount their track bar there. People have had great success doing a simple track bar relocation hole and wheeling their rig successfully. The problem with the track bar relocation hole versus an adjustable track bar is that you're still dealing with a fixed track bar. So if you change the height of your lift, then you would technically need to re-drill the hole to a different spot if you wanted to get it centered back underneath your Jeep. The adjustable track bar, just like it sounds, it adjusts out so that way you can get your axle centered underneath your Jeep no matter what your lift is within that specified range. One of the problems people have is when they do this relocation hole, they put their bolt through there and they tighten it down. And if you don't get that bolt torqued to spec, then it's not going to apply enough clamping force which holds it in place. And what happens is the track bar, as it sits like this, goes down the road and it starts going back and forth. And eventually it makes this into an egg-shaped hole which causes you problems. So now you have a big old wallowed out hole. How am I going to fix that? So let's take a look at this thing and see what we can do. First off, we have the original hole here. We have the relocation hole here. Now, I understand that this piece is sitting up on top of my whipping post here, and it's easy for me to see and look and work on this thing. I get that, but you can do the same thing while this axle's underneath your Jeep, laying on the ground. It's not going to be fun, but you can get this thing fixed. So, what are our options to fix this thing on the cheap? Well, one of them, people say that you can just fill in the hole with weld fill and grind it smooth afterwards and you should be good to go. The downside of that, in my opinion, is that you get your weld fill going through and it's not smooth on the backside, and that could possibly interfere with your flag nut making contact with your bolt, not allowing it to get torqued down properly. If that happens, we could be facing the same problem we did before with the wallowed out hole. So what I decided to do is come up with a different way to go about this, and I had a bucket of these construction shims. These are just 1/8 inch, some of them are a little bit thinner shims, and they use them between the foundation and the bottom plate of framing to make sure everything's making great contact. It's 1.5 inches by 3 inches, works out perfect for what we're trying to do here. Just take your shim, put it inside the slot, press it up against the backside to make sure that everything fits. So as I'm looking here, I can see that I have plenty of material there, plenty of material there. So with the shim being held in place, I'll take a scribe through the original factory hole, scribe it around the circle of the bolt hole, pull that out, take it over to my drill press, and drill out the hole, and end up with that. So with my flat stock on the backside, I'm going to take my track bar bolt, put it through, take my flag nut, get it up to that flat stock, get it as tight as I can get it by hand, and then I'm going to come around the backside with some vice grips and I'm gonna hold the plate in place on the backside while I weld it. That way there's no movement, and I'm making sure I get the greatest contact from this side. So now that we have it all put together, it's as simple as filling in the hole. So after just a little bit of work, that's what you get. Granted, you're gonna have an 1/8 inch plate on the back side there, but your hole's filled in. It's flush, so your track bar is not gonna interfere with it. You may need to get a longer bolt in order to reach your flag nut, but at least you got this thing fixed for cheap. Now the question comes, what about this side? This one here, I know I can access the back side with the grinder. I can access this side with a flap disc, so not a big deal. Actually, I had a lot of fun with this project, and it was fairly straightforward and simple. My guess is because I wasn't on my back underneath my Jeep like you guys are gonna be doing when you go to fix yours. That definitely made a difference. If you guys have any tips or suggestions or questions, please post them in the comments section below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and by all means, if you have any questions, let me know.